Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ariel Rose, and this is Becoming a Flight Attendant. So it is week 2. I'm basically wrapping up the week. Tomorrow will be day 14. Today was a test day. We had a test and a drill today, and so it was a little high strung. There was like a lot of stress, I guess, surrounding today. And really for me personally, and I don't know who else is like this, if you're doing this like pretty soon out of college, soon out of high school, and you're used to studying or lectures or taking exams, then I feel like it is maybe a little bit easier for you. Like for me personally, I don't stress the exams. Like it's all multiple choice tests, so I don't really stress that. I'm like, push come to shove, I've looked at this content enough, I've studied it enough. One of those answers will jog my memory. If I can't think of it, I can think of a logical answer. I can, like I feel the way I can finesse my way through a multiple choice. But with the drills you have to pass 100%. You cannot miss a step, a word, nothing. So those for me is what I put more energy into, because that's, for me, I just feel like that's the more difficult thing. Not that it's even super difficult, it's just more difficult for me, and everybody's different, so maybe that would come super easy to you and you feel like you need to study the exams more. But yeah, that's that. We started with I think 71 people, and so to be safe, since we are in COVID, the majority of our training is virtual, but we are split up into 5 groups for when we do go into the hangar, into the building where we have drills and in-person things. And so my pod is like 13 people, so all of us, we were in and out, everyone passed everything, so shout out to us. We've really been sticking together and I've really been loving them, so I'm really happy to have them. Like definitely find your support system while you're here. You're gonna need it at some point. All of us, we do our study sessions through Zoom, like everything's online because we're adhering to COVID protocols. So literally I don't know like half the people that are in my whole class, just because I would never see them. Like I will never see them from the day we started to the day I graduate. We'll never all be together just because it's so many of us, and it's just, there's no area in our facility where all of us can be together and be socially distanced. It just is a thing. Today, I do have to say, like, take everything one thing at a time. Like definitely if you don't do well on your test and you can retake it, but you can't retake it till the next day, and then you have a drill next, just completely empty out of your mind the test. Like don't even think about that, like, because you don't want to take that negative energy with you into the next thing that you have to do. So don't even worry about that. Just clear your head, review your content a little bit if you need to, and then go into the next thing. I do have to say, like, the content, it's just a lot of information. I feel like a lot of it just makes logical sense, like when you're going through the steps of what you would do if any type of a certain emergency happened. Like when you're just a passenger, you don't really think about those things, but when you see it written out in front of you step by step, you're like, okay, that makes sense why you would do this and then do this and then do this. So yeah, literally just make sure, if you have any questions at all, do not be afraid to ask questions, especially in as big of a class as we have. There's not going to be a question that you have and nobody else has that question. I promise someone else is going to have that question. And I feel like instructors that do training have to kind of expect that we're so new, that new hires are going to have a lot of questions that, they've been doing this for at least a year, and most of them many years, so it's things that they've repeated and they've done nonstop. But for us, it's all new, it's all foreign to us, so I think they kind of expect us to have a lot of questions. And I've never had a time when I asked a question, or anyone in my classes asked a question, and a instructor has been like, no, I'm not going to answer that. They're always happy to answer it. There's like a lot of pros and cons to being virtual, right? So like I kind of like being virtual, and we're in the hotel for our lectures, because I'm able to have everything laid out. I'll have my notebook, I'll have my iPad, I'll have all of my colored pens and highlighters, and I might have my study guide next to me, and I'm going through my study guide while I'm going through the PowerPoints, and I'm able to just kind of facilitate how I'm doing it exactly how I want to, in all the space that I need, and be able to snack all the time, because I snack the whole time. Whereas if I was in class, you know, I wouldn't necessarily be able to do it the way I do it when I'm home. You know, like I've kind of like made this space home. It's seriously a 1-bedroom apartment, so like this is my home for the month. So that is kind of the nice thing. What's kind of hard is that it's just sometimes really draining. Death by PowerPoint. Like you're literally just watching this PowerPoint go by for hours, and that's maybe the hardest part. They give you so many resources. Like they give you a study guide, they give you videos, they give you drills and workshops, they give you a Quizlet, like so they're really doing everything that they can so that you succeed, because they need us. They need us. But yeah, I'm excited because week 2 is over. I'm officially halfway through this process. We're about to start being a lot more hands-on. We're going to be in the hangar more. We're going to be in the facility more. We're just going to be doing a lot more hands-on things, and I'm really excited for that because that really does help me like be in that environment. It really helps you makes everything click for me. And I feel like that's a lot of people are hands-on, and so when we're reading how to do, you know, evacuations or things like that, like we can picture in our mind, but when we're actually in the space, because all of the like aircrafts that we use, like it's not like simulators, it's not like it's a green screen, like you're really in the same dimensions, and that's so helpful to me. We're halfway through this thing. A is on all my exams, but that's another thing, like don't really focus on the exact grades you get on an exam. If you missed 1 question, if you missed 6 questions, as long you pass or fail. They do not notate if you got an 80 or a 97. You wouldn't get a 97, an 80 or a 98, okay? It's pass or fail. Sure, review it. Like you can review your exams to know what you got wrong, so like when it comes to your final test and it's cumulative, you can know what you got right and wrong. But in that moment, especially if you have something else, don't be like, oh, why did I miss that? Like it does not matter. Literally, it's pass or fail. Just pass it. Do your best, study the material, know what you like, and don't just like harp on all the things that you do know. If there's something you're struggling with, focus on that. Don't try to make yourself feel better. Do not try to make yourself feel better going over all the stuff that you already know. Go over the stuff that you need help with, and find someone that you click with, that y'all can Zoom together and do one-on-one, Zoom with 6 people, however it helps you best. Especially find someone that you're able to study with, and they might know things better than you, and you might know things better than them, but y'all can bounce things off of each other. They can teach you ways to memorize certain things. So yeah, definitely get your group. We do test every single week, so it's not that crazy. I mean, it's like if you were in if you went to a school and you did quarters instead of semesters, it's kind of like that. Like that's kind of how I look at it. And like I said, I'm not really pressed about the exams. Like honestly, the exams are really not that hard, in my opinion. And I feel like everything I watched said, you know, like it's so intense and it's so difficult and it's like this gut-wrenching thing, and I want to be if there's no video that tells you it's not that bad, like watch my video and know it's not that bad. Keep your head in your book, study, make sure you know your information, but it doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest thing in my life. And everybody's study style is different. Everybody picks up information differently. But there's people, we're in a class of 60 something people. There's people that are, even in my group that's only 13, there's some people that really stress out and they cannot be in our group, and they are in the zone. They have to study by themselves. They play teacher with themselves. And then there's people like me that have a more relaxed outlook at studying and stuff, and I'm not gonna let this stress me. Like I feel like if I'm stressed, then I'm not gonna perform. And even like while I'm taking the test, I'll mark the ones that I'm not completely 100% about, or I need to go back and look at, and I always miss less than the amount of ones that I click to go back and look on, because you second guess yourself, you know, sometimes. But don't do that. You got this. Prepare yourself. But I've been enjoying training, honestly. I've been enjoying it. I'm really thankful for the group I have. Really find yourself a good group. And yeah, that's that on that. Next week will be week 3, and I will be in the hangar and in the facility a lot more heavy things. And so I don't know, maybe my attitude next week when I check in will be completely different from my attitude today, but we will see. I will have another test next week. We start class a little bit late tomorrow, so that'll be nice as we can kind of sleep in after kind of a stressful day. If you are liking these updates, this becoming a flight attendant series, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will make sure to keep bringing y'all this information, because chill. You will make it through this, and you're gonna be a bomb flight attendant, because I'm gonna be a bomb.